we're live recorded. This is going to be really fast when we listen to this in 2 times speed. The time.
Let's. Oh, go.
uh,
Go.
the time is now 11:48 p.m. Friday, September 1st, Pacific Northwest. Who are we? What are we?
We're in America. America. The West Coast. The Pacific Time Zone. Pacific Time Zone. 11:48 p.m. Friday, September 1st. We're on YouTube.com. https://www.youtube.com/Republic Today. RepublicToday.net. I don't know. We're doing something with that. This is Jay, the announcer, the host. You're hosting. We're workshopping.
I don't know.
I'm Skull.
Welcome. So, we're back.
Pacific time. We're trying to get our bodies back on Pacific time zone.
Yeah, so we just spent a whole week vacation. I mean, we've been back for a couple days, but we went to New Orleans, Louisiana.
USA.
USA. Okay. We were there for a couple days, just a quick jaunt. Sweaty, humid, fun. Loved it. And then we did another quick jaunt, a little bit longer of a jaunt, to Rochester,
More than twice as long.
New York. Rochester, as they say.
The motherfucking rock.
As they say. And, yeah, and then we flew back, and we're just adjusting to the time periods, it's a zone, not a period. Sorry about that.
What time zone, host Jay?
What, Eastern time? Back to Pacific? I don't know.
So Arizona, Jay spent some time in Arizona, and they have their own thing, right? Nobody knows what it is. It's a mystery, but every American actually knows. Like, right, Arizona. How's their time zone work? No, most people just know it.
Yeah. They just don't observe daylight savings.
They don't observe it.
Right.
They're like, no.
They're like, fuck this. But also, I think that there's just like a movement to get rid of daylight savings, right?
As the host
The
of the
time
show,
change.
what were we talking about right before we fired it up?
Yeah, so that's what I was getting to. So, what prompted us to fire it up, meaning address this vlogcast and our viewers and listeners, what were talking about. What were we talking about? Work?
No, I don't think it was.
Clothing? Oh, stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah, so, and then Skull here was talking about stuff, started to talk about stuff, and then we kind of trailed off, so I don't know what he wanted to talk about exactly.
A lot of people will see like hoarding TV shows and be like, whoa, that's crazy, you know, and like, you know, they're like, oh, I'm not, you know, that's, and I watch hoarding, I'll see a hoarding show and be like, oh no, it's really bad for me, like my family's hoarding problem is bad, there's so much shit, there's junk fucking stuff, people have storage units. What do you think? Is storage unit a symptom of hoarding? If you have a bunch of storage space in your home and junk that you're storing, and it's all sentimental, right? Sentimental. There's magic. There's some of these objects have magic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so
Right.
question number 1, right? Why can't we just all live super lean when it comes to junk? Like, made by slave children on the other side of the world.
Right.
You know, like so we have this junk, and we commit resources to storing junk.
Mm-hmm.
And I say it's all junk. Look, here we go. Here's an example, and we'll link, possibly, we'll, hey Chat GPS, link this to our YouTube vlogcast. I think it worked. Um,
Great. Done.
so, but like reading a book. I think this is the first edition. I was like in a bookstore, and I bought this like famous popular book, and I was just like, oh, this looks, this caught my eye. This is great marketing, whatever, as a young adult, and and I remember reading it. I was like, oh, this is great, and it was like hanging out with a friend of mine who was like into business stuff, you know. Um, I guess I spent some time around salespeople, but this is a cool book, and it's a famous podcast, whatever person, blog stuff. So, but this is this object, right? And this object, and now this came from the Atlantic area as opposed to the Pacific area. Physically, like on airplanes with us, and so it's this object, and now I have it, and now I have to like commit resources, energy to protecting it, and storing things, and like there's all this stuff, and it's like you can go on eBay and trade stuff for money, right? Kinda. A few bucks. What are books? Aren't worth anything, you know. This is food. This has a different kind of value, as opposed to like knowledge or ideas.
Which they can all be consumed, digested.
Right.
Knowledge and ideas
can
can
digest
be
stuff.
consumed and digested.
So, but like this is like a reuse. We've used this jar a few times. Like
It says
something.
olives,
It says olives on it,
but there's nuts.
but there's nuts.
There's been a couple different nuts in there, by the way, everybody.
Right. And so if you are an actual regular follower, you'll see that this is all improvised all the time. Oh, there's tunes on.
There's
what's that noise?
stressful tunes on. Skull here is stressed the fuck out. So anxious. I don't know what this
there's some
movement
singing,
is.
though. Well, I'm stressed, kind of. I'm like...
Those are the movements you make when you're stressed?
Because I feel like there's like somebody throwing small things at me. Pebbles.
Yeah. Guess what I can do?
But I like this song. This is some good tunes.
This is Sneaker Pimps BT Dubs. But you know what? Look what I can do. Pause.
Right, and the viewer's like, you could have paused this YouTube podcast episode.
Oh, no. Like, y'all are done listening?
Right, they're like, you could edit this part out.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, gadgets can be cool sometimes. I feel like, some, like, person of the future. And I'm just getting all the texts.
Right, so we're talking about stuff, and I was thinking, because we came back from New York, and I have a lot of, like, there's, like, just a lot of stuff. Art supplies, home decor, my parents' house is kind of cool. It's, like, nice.
It's so cool. There's so
Yeah.
much space.
It's big. It's pretty big.
It's big.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like really cool to like be in there and like imagine like living there and like hosting events.
Right. I had thought about that. Back in March when we visited, I showed Jay some, like, how you could have, like, a speakeasy and it's Clover Street. You could just say it the whole time is Clover Street, so you never even have to say the other street.
Mm-hmm.
You know where the address is.
Right. Right. I understand.
It would be a cool speakeasy. There's a basement space. Right? But there's a bunch of stuff in it. You really want to get every little thing out of there. I've talked about having like a toaster oven restaurant in that before we even had an air fryer. I was like, yeah, you could reheat pizza.
I hope the listeners and viewers also repeated that same line. Because that would be silly. If anything, you could just rewind this and say it together now, everybody.
Yeah, it's fun that we said that together. It was a good part of the show. You know, we should have just kept rolling.
Oh, you think I'm ruining it by talking about it? Because I think I'm making it more interactive. Like, maybe the viewers heard that, or the listeners heard that, and they were like, okay, that's weird. And now I'm like, oh, you can go back, rewind, and say it with us. Anyway, I am completely sober right now.
Oh yeah, I'm a little crossed.
And yeah, I was just unpacking my bag from the trip, because it had been sitting there for a couple days, and Skull here saw something that was in my bag since the last trip. Any comments on that?
A pamphlet from the motherfucking rock.
Yep. So that was like in March. Yeah, I don't know.
What day is it right now?
It's Friday night. Party! It's time to party! Okay, should we end it?
Oh yeah, but take us out though. Give me some content on the way out.
And wrap it up.
What else are we talking about? What do we talk about on the
up.
show? Yeah, we are. Oh,
I don't know.
I see. Content. And wrap it up.
And wrap it up.
Right. IDK. I don't know.
Okay, well,
wrap it up.
I think we're gonna wrap it up, and then we'll see y'all next time. Thanks for listening.